Hello everybody and welcome to our stream today. Our presentation will cover our game Cretaceous Crunch. I am Lori Niergaard. I'm the concept owner of the game. Cretaceous Crunch is a 3D action game where you play as a Baryonyx, affectionately named Onyx, who must fight off an alien invasion by eating radioactive spaceship batteries to mutate himself in order to utilize powerful foreign weapons and defeat those pesky intruders. The team here is about 30 people. We're all students at Han, and they have all been working incredibly hard to build this game. I am insanely proud of the amount of work that they've gotten done in such a short period of time, and I cannot wait to show you all the amazing product that we have today. So we'll start off by talking a little bit about what has happened over this past sprint, mainly starting with programming here. They worked very hard on those attacks, such as the blue tier 1 enemy tail attack, as well as the blue tier 2 enemy shield ability, which is not fully implemented into the product we'll be showing, but it was still very cool to see the progress made on it. They've also began working on the boss. Here you can see some footage of what the boss's attacks will look like, just some early progress made on it. It looks absolutely amazing. You can see the meteors falling down. You can see the little effects on the ground and the explosions once they hit the ground. Very cool. They've also been able to add some more UI effects for picking up batteries. They've also worked on weapon pop-ups to give the player a little bit more information. We'll get to see more of this stuff in our live demo shortly. There's been a lot of UI improvements overall as well with the menus. They've also fixed some stuff so that you can't move during certain attacks. A lot of the animations got completed for the implemented into the player. They've also added in a lot of the art that our art team has worked very hard on, so it's very cool to see that finally implemented. There's a lot more enemy behavior as well, and destructible objects did also get added into the game. So now you can break down trees and cause a lot of chaos. Now, while these aren't currently in the live demo we'll show you today, is still very cool, and we wanted to show you that this is here and it will be here in the playable game for our next sprint. Moving on a little bit, our art team, as mentioned, has been working very hard as well. They've finished all of the enemy models, including texturing and animating them. They've been working on NPC models as well for such as other dinosaurs in the world, because as we know, the Baryonyx wasn't the only dinosaur living in the Cretaceous period, as well as working on Onyx himself. They've accomplished a lot of his animations, such as his stomp animation. As we can see, that is not playing. We'll see it in the live demo, don't worry. But there's also a tail swipe animation will be shown during the live demo, as well as a bite and a that is implemented as well with a fire walking, or when you breathe fire and you walk, there's an animation for that as well. They have also worked some of the enemy models we have here, such as the blue tier 2 alien. Very cool, very silly guy there with his spear and shield, and the blue color to help indicate that he is, the blue tier 2 alien. They also have enemy attack animations as mentioned, such as our yellow enemies jumping attack, which you'll be able to see in the live demo, as well as animations for the boss, and as mentioned, the boss is not implemented in this current playable version of the game. However, a lot of progress has been made on him, and he will be showcased in our next presentation. Also, lots of UI work got done, and overall you can see a nice video of the scale of a lot of the weapons compared to Onyx. Very lovely. It's cool to see them all lined up with the batteries and whatnot. It's very neat to see all the pieces coming together here. Sound has also been doing a lot of work. They've been going through that sound list and getting all those enemy sounds and weapon sounds. The player sounds were primarily what was focused on this sprint. Design is also super hard at work. They've created an amazing environment and language that I'm very excited to show you in this upcoming live demo here shortly. They've worked really hard on the designs as well of the bosses, the enemies, and just overall really fleshing out the level to play through. So now, without further ado, let's take a look at some live gameplay. So as you can see, the main menu got a little bit of a revamp here. We've got Onyx over at the side with a little bit of the environment and the title. The buttons are now batteries. The settings still have the same options here, as well with resolution, screen mode, volume sliders, and all of that, which do affectionately work. And then once you hit play, it'll throw you right into the game. And you can see that we have Onyx's complete model, full with his animations. Look at him stomping around. The pause menu still works as well. Again, with the new revamped UI layouts, looks very nice. So yeah, we can see some of Onyx's movements here. We can see him stomp as well, because that unfortunately didn't play earlier. We get the cool dust effects. His tail swipe, very powerful, and his bite, while there is just a slight issue with his mouth not opening, the animation is still there. But so yeah. And as you can see, the environment in the area has been very diligently worked on by the design team. There's a bit more rocks, there's plants, there's even a little bits of water. The water will be getting a very cool upgrade a bit in the next sprint here. But as you can see, it's very colorful, very fleshed out. Yeah, you can see the enemies with the spawner ships there as well. All the little scouts that have deboarded those ships and are now going to try to attack you if you get too close to them. But luckily for you, you can attack them back with your basic moves, such as stomping and... Perfect. And of course, there are batteries to eat with new UI elements to really show that a little bit more about like the element that those batteries have. Walking around again, we've got some more aliens there. Very nice ground, low poly texture, keeps with the overall theme and style of the game. Obviously some sound effects in there as well. There are checkpoints available as well, so right now might be just a little cylinder, but once you restart the game and come back in, you will start right back at that checkpoint. So now you don't have to play the entire level over again if you happen to die, or if you would like to just save and quit, you can now start back at checkpoints. Some more pretty flowers in there, lovely environment. Some more scouts. And as you can see, we have another type of alien here. He's got a little flamethrower, and when he dies, he drops said flamethrower. And you can see that we have a little UI element here now that tells you, 1, the amount of batteries you need to pick it up, 2, what that flamethrower or what that weapon is going to affect. So as you can see here, that is his head, so you know that that is going to be a head-based weapon. You can also see the prompt to pick it up is E at the top. And of course, you can't eat those weapons and use them unless you have the appropriate batteries to go with them. So as here, you'll pick up that red battery, which is matching in color to the weapon to help the player understand a little bit more about which weapon requires which batteries. So once you pick that up, you now have access to the flamethrower. So now, when you press and hold, the lovely flamethrower pops out, and we have some awesome sound effects for that. And you can now burn all those pesky aliens to a crisp. They do not stand a chance. So yeah, we'll wander around the level a little bit here, show you a little bit more of the other enemies available. Now this enemy here, while he doesn't have his textures on, we will get to see him a little bit later, but once he dies, you'll be able to see that he drops a new type of weapon. This one you can see is blue, requires 1 battery, and goes on your tail. But you can't pick it up because you don't have any blue batteries currently, so we'll wander around a little bit and look at that. perfectly found another blue battery. So now we can go back down and pick up the weapon. Perfect. It's lovely little stomping sounds. And there's some unsuspecting scouts up ahead, and you have all 3 abilities to use. So now you can whip out a really cool tail attack that yanks those enemies towards you with a cool gravity effect. And that would allow you to pull those enemies in for a devastating attack to kill them. You can also flamethrower breath on them and wipe them out. So yeah, and as you can see, we do have a working health bar up there that does go down when you take damage. Again, with the lovely rocks, and that is not grass, because apparently there is no grass in the Cretaceous period, so that is moss. It does add a little bit more color to the environment, though, make it a little bit more pretty. And as you can see, we have yet another enemy here who's going to jump, and he's going to do a little stomp on you with those electric boots. And once you kill him, he's going to drop yet another weapon. That one is for your legs, as you can see. And now when you stomp, you've got an electric stomp. Another flamethrower guy who surely does not stand a chance with you and all your lovely mutations. And don't fret if you get low on health. Perfect, dropped another weapon. As you can see also with the little health bar, once it gets real low, you can start seeing your skeleton. You've got a little bit more of that red vignette and a heartbeat sound effect to really bring home the fact that you are hurting a little bit, which is perfectly fine. Yeah, and you can still use your normal attacks even if you have the mutations. So, like, for example, when you stomp, if you just press it once, that'll do your regular stomp, but if you hold it, that does your mutated. So you still have access to those original attacks, despite having all of those cool mutations. Another cool look at those awesome ground effects. Here we have another group of aliens who have unfortunately bested you. So yes, that is our live demo. Of course, you could see there, once you die, there is some text that pops up, some terrifying sound effects there to let you know that you have unfortunately fallen victim to the aliens' schemes. So thank you, that is our live demo. Moving on, just a bit of a general roadmap. Next sprint, we will be doing a lot of bug fixing, polishing, adding in those last little bits to make it look extra good. We'll also, you know, if we have the time, we'll be adding in silly fun things that the team might want to add in. Little Easter eggs, of course. Controller support will be definitely in for next sprint as well. We will also be at Open Up, which happens on June 19th, and you can come visit us and play the live demo of the game yourself and really beat those aliens yourself, so feel Onyx's cool mutations rather than just watching them on our lovely streams. So now that will conclude the presentation portion, and we will move on to the QA if anyone has any questions.
I have 5 questions and a number of comments. The silly question first. Why Onyx and not Barry?
You know, that has actually been discussed throughout the team. Barry is kind of a name that some people have referred to him as, but his official lore-accurate name is Onyx.
Fair enough. I suppose one of the questions was actually a comment with the particle effect you showed for the boss's meteorite attack. Mm-hmm. Excellent telegraphing. I really like that whoever's designing that is showcasing the interaction of feed forward. When you make the final version, make the beams on the spotlights on the particles a little bit longer so that you get that larger circle earlier that focuses in, but really great. I love to see that. What a great setup that's going to work really well. There's also not a question, but a comment. The version you showed of the destructible objects look really good. They look really juicy. I like the particle effects, the rubble that's left behind. It looks really good. Be careful, it doesn't look like the same style as the environment right now. And personally, I think the style of the destructibles you showed feels more fun. So maybe try and make sure that the environment is using assets that are lining up with that style. And a question about scale. The aliens seem pretty big now compared to some of the versions we've seen previously. What's your goal for the scale difference between Onyx and the aliens?
So scale for the aliens was brought up a little bit because we wanted to really showcase the art of the aliens as well. Scaling will go through a little bit of changes as we do QA testing with other players outside of the team to really find what feels right, but we want to make sure that the hard work that the artists have put in is very visible because those aliens are super cool, and it'd be a real shame if the detail got lost by making them smaller. So we're going to be working to find a scale that works for both showcasing those models, but also that works well with the players. Cool. And just to address your other comments, I am also super proud of the work the team has done. They are just doing phenomenal, and it is so amazing to see these cool effects that they are working on. Yeah.
My first comment, it wasn't clear for me what attributes you were wearing at what moments. So when you picked up the flamethrower, I didn't notice you already had it, unless you pressed the button and you spat flame.
Yep. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you can.
That will be for our next sprint. Part of the polishing and fixing up is making sure that those mutations will happen when you pick up the battery, so it's more clear of what you have at a certain time, as well as with weapons. There will be feedback to let you know which weapons you have picked up at the time.
Yeah. And will it also be limited, or because you pick up a battery, then you pick up the item, and when does it end?
Could you maybe elaborate a little further on that?
Well, if I have a flamethrower, can I just continue using the flamethrower, or is it limited in amount of use or time, or something like that?
The designers have been discussing cooldowns and balancing of the game, which again comes with that last sprint of really polishing things up. In terms of if it ever becomes sort of obsolete, I think might be what your question is alluding to a little bit. You can fully complete the game with any of the weapons. It just will matter in terms of difficulty. Like that flamethrower might be really powerful during the beginning, but as you get later, you're going to want to pick up stronger weapons. So eventually you might want to drop the flamethrower and stuff like that. Does that answer the question?
Yeah. And then my final question would be, it seemed a bit linear now, the level. So you went for point A, and I expect you went at the boss, and then you defeat the boss. We also have secrets, like a secret cave that you can go in and find a weapon you can use.
I believe our design lead, Papine, could answer that.
Yeah, we currently have only passageways that go in a different way. We only have batteries that are hidden there currently, but we don't have any caves currently because most of the camera work. But the crater on top does have a section you can is guarded by trees and find some goodies there.
Alright, any further questions?
Maybe I have one final comment. The game also seemed a bit easy. Well, I know you have your health bar that's going down, but eventually it's just pressing your attacks, kill the enemies, continue. Pressing the attacks, kill the enemies, continue. We also have some challenges that the enemies are coming towards you, trying to attack you a bit more intelligent than they are now.
Yeah, they all move the same way.
Yeah.
Now, and as a group,
The enemy behavior is based on horde dynamics, so the horde of enemies kind of act as one. So when the player gets too close, the horde of enemies will track to try to kill the player. I believe more of the challenge comes in the varying types of enemies that you won't entirely be able to kill all equally as easy. As you can see at the very end there, that last horde of aliens, those do more of a charge attack and can really catch you off guard if you're not prepared, or if you don't know how to like properly handle that. So I think a lot of like with the scouts, it can definitely get a little bit repetitive of hitting the your attacks over and over again. But it more comes in the difficulty of there are a lot of them, so you will have to come up with strategies to deal with the hordes. If that makes sense.
You also have one scout that's calling the others, so you have to kill that one scout while the others are attacking you. And if you're too late, another group of scouts will come while calling the others. I think that's what a scout is supposed to do. They see the enemy and they get the stronger aliens.
Yeah, that's definitely a very good point, and it is definitely something our design team can discuss with programming as well to further that enemy behavior. As of now, there's not anything quite planned like that. A little bit of that will be shown in the boss level, but I don't want to spoil too much. I'll let you guys see it next sprint for that demonstration.
Compliment for everything you have done for Sprint 3. And Jeff also had a question.
Yes. Always.
Oh, no, we're good.
Mine is still a bit of a comment still on the other thing, which I also think is something part of balancing that you were already planning on fixing for the next sprint. But indeed, when I saw a few of the special enemies attack, especially the electrical one that did like this cool jump, the amount of health that got reduced was like a very tiny sliver, which felt a bit unimpressive for the kind of attack it was doing. So I still wanted to note it, but I assume you're already planning some balancing things. You already said so. But yeah, aside from that, very well done.
Of course, thank you.
Think what is. Oh yeah, to tie into Mitch's second question and his last one. So the last one was about creating challenge with enemy behavior. I think it's really important. I know it's something design team's looking at. To tie into his second question about using the weapons, once I get the flamethrower and I hold my whatever chomp attack is, why would I ever let go of that button? Why would I not just become a fire spewing Godzilla and just mow through everything? From a design perspective, why would I let go of that button? That's also going to help with the challenge, I think. Do you have ideas on that?
If Design Lead Bavine would like to answer that.
Currently, we have a mechanic that you can walk slower. While you fire breath, you walk slower, and you have a limited amount of time. And the more you use it, the more the cooldown you have.
So there is some cooldown on it.
Yes.
The last thing, I don't need the mic, but I just wanted to also echo the last thing Mitch said. Really great work. This is really nice to see at a Sprint 3. There's really good progress on mechanical implementation from programming, the way things are looking from art, the way things are sounding, and the way the gameplay is coming together. Really excellent work. Keep it up. Make this last sprint sort of the home run, and you guys are kind of a really, really cool game in another couple weeks. Great work.
Are there any further questions?
Yeah, small one. Maybe I take it the footstep sound is going to be a bit more accurate than it's now. It's now limping. Only one foot. Yeah.
Yep, the sound effects will also be polished and finished as well in that final stretch there.
Yeah. Very nice work.
Perfect. Any final comments, concerns, questions? Alrighty. If there are no further comments, I would just like to once again, I know it's been said, but you guys have done an amazing job on the project. You should all give yourselves a major pat on the back. You've accomplished a lot of really hard work in a short amount of time, and I'm very excited to see how this polish goes for this next sprint to really see the game come to a complete version here. We will have our next live stream on June 12th to showcase that amazing polish work that I know you all are going to do. And of course, for those watching at home, you can follow us on TikTok and Instagram for updates about the game as well as updates about our live streams. If you would like to watch this presentation back, they will be uploaded to YouTube where you can find other content for the game. We are planning to publish this theme, hopefully, fingers crossed, and we will also be posting the game on to itch as well. I would like to thank you all for coming and have a wonderful day.